Hello. Long time no see. So, this is the first vlog of 2022. Um, and yeah, I will probably talk a little bit about what sort of happened over the course of December. But I wanted to get back into the swing of things, so, well, I will mention right off the bat that I got COVID on, well, I tested positive the day after Christmas. So today is my first day. Like, as soon as I tested positive, I immediately, like, isolated myself in our bedroom because my husband and my son were both negative. So we were trying to keep it from spreading. So today is Tuesday. It is my first day out of the bedroom isolation. Um, and I'm still recovering. I'm a little bit like wheezy. I have asthma, so um, I'm still like I can kind of feel it in my chest, in my lungs, and I just am, tiring out a bit faster than I would like. I wanted to start the New Year 30-day challenge with yoga with Adrian, and I didn't start that on New Year's Day. Um, which, I mean, I'm trying to be kind to myself and realizing that, like, my body might need to heal. Um, so this week is just going to be um, me kind of taking down Christmas that I feel like I didn't really get to enjoy, and cleaning and putting the house back together, and just really like getting my life back on track. I feel like I don't even know how to properly adult because I really haven't been doing anything but like sleeping um, and resting the last however many days it's been, 10 days. Um, so, yeah, I just wanted to hop on, say hello, and start the vlog. Okay, so I have started like cleaning up our room today, or cleaning out our room today. Um, and it took me forever to get the comforter dry this time for some reason. So I finally have that dry so that I can make up the bed. I am really, really exhausted and not feeling great. I think this kind of recovery starts like in the morning. I wake up and I'm, feeling okay-ish. Kind of as the day goes on, I start feeling like really just like worn out and just can't really describe it. Like, I don't know, my chest just feels heavy. So my husband took Rowan and they went to get pizza for dinner. We're having mod pizza. I'm not really hungry actually, but I should probably eat. Um, so yeah, that's about it. I did start reading a book, but I don't know what I did with it. It's called Dead Dead Girls, I think. I can't remember who the author is, but it is a historical mystery. So it takes place in the 1920s in Harlem. The main character's name is Louise. I can't remember what her last name is. Um, and I'm about 55 pages in. At the beginning of the book, there's like a prologue, and she is walking home in Harlem, kind of thinking about getting home. She is the daughter. Her father is widowed, and I think there are three or four. No, there are four girls in her family. And I think she may be the oldest, and she's walking home, and she's kidnapped on the streets of Harlem, and she basically escapes her kidnapper. And well, while she's there, she kind of wakes up and sees that there are three other girls there too. So the man who kidnapped her comes back, and she fights him off and saves herself and the other three girls, and she becomes known as the hero of Harlem. And then we kind of fast forward. That happened when I think she was about 15. So at the time, like the current timeline in the book, she is, it might be like 10 years later. She's like 26, 27. And she works as a waitress, like in a cafe. Um, and so, yeah, we're just kind of introduced to her, her roommate. Well, she lives in a boarding house with other women. One of the women who lives across the hall is her best friend and her girlfriend. And then the girlfriend has a twin brother. That's like their little trio of friend group. So far it's really interesting. I'm enjoying it. I am probably going to make up the bed, put on my pajamas, and read a little bit before bed. But I will check in. Hi, friends. It is Tuesday, and I have actually spent most of the morning. I think I talked yesterday that I was feeling like when I wake up, I feel kind of okay, and then like as the day progresses, I get a little bit more exhausted and like not feeling well, and like my like asthma and like whatever's happening in my chest starts acting up. So I spent most of the morning kind of taking it easy because I had therapy at 1. Um, so I just kind of like hung out. I have been printing new inserts for my ring planner, which is what you may hear my printer in the background. But and then like I took a shower and everything and got ready. I'm doing a virtual appointment. So I had like a little bit more time. I wasn't like, I mean, my therapist's office is not far from where I live, but you know. Um, and so I had emailed her this morning, saying like, I mean, she knew that I had COVID because when I got diagnosed with COVID, I like freaked out and emailed her, so she knows all about it. But I had emailed her this morning, like, hey, I'm feeling better. I'm like out of isolation finally, but I'm still being super cautious. Can we do like a virtual appointment today? And she, like, right as I was getting dressed, she emailed me back and she's like, I have you down for tomorrow. So, which I did think it was weird. I usually get like a text notification to remind me of my appointment, and I didn't get one yesterday. Um, but I'm also still like super confused on exactly what day it is. And I usually go on Wednesdays. So, anyway, all that to say, I wasted my morning kind of just chilling out because I didn't want to wear myself out before my therapy appointment. Um, so I feel like the stuff that I needed to do today, like nothing's getting done. So that's great. I did read a little bit more in this book. This is the book I talked to you about yesterday, Dead Dead Girls by Nikisa Afia. Um, and yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. So I don't think I read much further than what I told you yesterday. Um, but essentially, the main character, Louise, sorry, I was looking for her name. She, um, she works at like this cafe in Harlem, and one day there's like a girl laying on the sidewalk in front of where she works, and they all go out to see if she's okay, and the girl is dead, and so um, we find out that this is the third girl that's turned up dead in Harlem, like in a matter of like weeks or maybe a month or so, a couple of months maybe. Um, and so that unsettles her, as it would anyone, because seeing dead bodies is not something you do every day, but also because she kind of has that trauma in her past of having escaped her kidnapper. Um, and in the prologue, it doesn't tell you what happened to the kidnapper. It just says that she escaped. So I'm thinking that that may come up in the story again. And so she's kind of unnerved that entire day, and her friends are like, hey, like, let's go out tonight. So remember, this is set in the 1920s, so kind of going out dancing was like a huge part of how people socialized back then. And so as they're like leaving the club to, I think, look for a cab or something, they're kind of walking down the street. She sees a girl being hassled by a cop, and this cop was one of the ones that came to the diner and kind of questioned people when they had reported the girl dead, the other girl dead. And so she kind of interferes. This girl is clearly afraid. Louise, doesn't really like the cop, doesn't like the way he was talking to her and her coworkers earlier, like he has an attitude, this sort of thing. And so she kind of intervenes and is telling him, like, hey, what are you doing? What did she do? That sort of thing. And the cop says something to her and she ends up punching him. So she gets arrested, and there's like a scene where she's in the jail and the other cops are, talking about her, making vile racist comments about her. They start throwing like peanuts at her, like she's I think they call her like a gorilla or some kind of like monkey. And then the like lead detective comes in. She had also met him the day before, or earlier that day when they like found the dead body. And so basically the head detective pulls her into his office and basically says, hey, we have this string of murders that's happening in Harlem. This is the third girl that's turned up dead. And he needs her help because it's the 1920s. Things are still heavily like racially segregated, and there are like places and people that Louise, the main character, would be able to get into and talk to because she's a black woman, that he wouldn't be able to get that information because he is a white man. And so basically he says, hey, do this for me, help me solve this case, and I will, basically like wipe away this arrest. You won't have to worry about going to prison. I'm sure that there are a lot of judges who'd like to make an example of you. You punched this white cop. That's not, like, nothing good can come of that. And so that's kind of where we are. She goes and talks to the family of the girl. And she ends up like talking to the girl's mom and one of her younger sisters and kind of getting some information. She goes to the club where this girl works. I guess it's kind of like, maybe like she's like a showgirl, or she like basically dances at this club in Harlem. The owner of, basically it's a front for prostitution. The owner like pimps these girls out and tells them like they have to sleep with the men who come in there to like dance with them and spend money on drinks. So that's kind of where we are. I am enjoying it so far. I think this cover is really beautiful as well. So I'm going to read a little bit more before it is time for me to go pick my kid up from school, figure out what we're going to have for dinner, that kind of thing. So I will check in later. Good morning. It is Friday. I don't think that I vlogged yesterday. But I just dropped Rowan off at school, and I am headed to, I dropped Rowan off at school, and then I pulled over in the parking lot to do our mobile order from Starbucks. So now I'm on my way to pick that up for me and my husband. I really want to get the Christmas stuff down, and I feel like it's been stressing me out that it's not down yet. So I think I'm going to focus on that today and see how far I get. But yeah, so that is all that's really going on right now. I thought that I would just come on and say yesterday. My throat was really scratchy, and oh, this is my exit. I had therapy yesterday, and it was kind of emotional. So I think that's why I did not vlog. And then after I talked for an hour, my voice is kind of gone. So yeah, that is that. I'm waiting for the video that's going up today to render on YouTube so that I can get that posted. While I'm waiting for that, I thought that I would pop up and update you. So I started reading this book. This is my second book of the year. So I finished The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary last week. And I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I think it's one of those books that people either love it or they don't really like it. I listened to the audiobook, and I think that made a huge difference because when I was updating on Goodreads, I try not to read reviews until I've already started reading a book so that I can kind of see if, especially if it's a book that I'm not really vibing with, so I can see if what I'm kind of thinking and feeling about the book is just a me thing or if it's a general consensus. But I didn't read anything about The Flat Share until I was posting my own review of it, which I don't think I posted a review. I think I just gave it a star rating. But I saw lots of reviews saying they couldn't really get into the male main character. His name was Leon. And I think because the plot of the book, a lot of the first kind of quarter of the book maybe, so it is about Tiffy and Leon. Tiffy breaks up with her boyfriend, and he kicks her out of their apartment that they had shared, and she really needs to find a place to live. She doesn't earn that much money, so she looks for a flat share, and she ends up not only getting a flatmate, but he is actually renting out his bed. So Leon works third shift, I believe, so the roommates would never even really see each other. And because Tiffy is in this really difficult situation, she doesn't have a lot of money to spend. She goes ahead and rents the flat and the bed, and the roommates communicate for most of the first probably quarter of the book through post-it notes and notes all over their apartment. I think maybe that would be a little bit hard to get into if you were reading a physical copy. Like I said, I listened to the audiobook. And I also think that Leon himself is a very sort of I won't say that he seems, he's not emotionally unavailable in that way, but he is his emotional range, he does not share that a lot with other people. And so I think that maybe that might have been a little bit hard to get the nuance of if you were reading a physical copy. The two voice actors did an amazing job, and I loved the voice production of this book. So if you're looking for a really good audiobook, I suggest that. So, I am currently editing this vlog, and I realized that I did not have an outro or an end clip. So I wanted to come on and say I'm going to end the vlog here. I've already started the next one, and thanks for watching. If you like this video and want to see more, be sure to give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button down below. And I will see you next time.